My school is transitioning to proficiency-based grading, and I needed a trimester to figure out what that means for me and my classroom, and this is what I did. The first change that I made was change the categories that I grade based on. I used to grade based on categorizing things as homework or classwork or projects or tests or quizzes. And that first change that I made was to grade based on learning target categories instead of type of assignment categories. This allowed me to focus each assignment on a single learning target. If I wanted to assess multiple learning targets within a single assignment, it went in the book as 2 separate assignments, one for each learning target. This also allowed me to get the category summary, which allowed me to see how each of my students was doing in each specific learning target. This meant that all of my assessments had to be organized by learning target as well. So this is 2 of my rubrics. The pink one is for an 8th grade Barbie bungee project. So you can see on the front of the rubric, it's based on the 4 learning targets in this unit. The back of the rubric, as you can see on the gray one, is based on our transferable skills. So some group work pieces and time management pieces. So I was able to assess both of those. The major change that happened for me with my grading is instead of putting in 1 grade for a project or test, I'm putting in 7 separate mini grades so that they're all broken out. My tests were also reorganized to reflect the separation of learning targets. So students were assessed based on individual learning targets. And instead of getting a number grade back, they got a rubric back. If they wanted to, on the rubric, it's really explicit what the learning targets are and how to demonstrate proficiency in each of those learning targets. One of the things that I noticed after making this change is I've had more students doing retakes after getting a rubric back than I have ever had getting a number score back. When a student wants to retake their test, they can choose which portion or which learning target of the test they want to reassess on, and they don't have to reassess on the entire unit. They can choose the areas where they've put in some extra work and want to revise. At the end of each unit, I ask students to personalize a Google slide presentation. This goes onto their PLP portfolio website as part of their math evidence. I ask them to self-assess on each of the learning targets and identify where they feel as though they fall on the rubric, and then I ask them to show some evidence to back up their claim. They have to take pictures of 3 pieces of evidence that prove that they have the skill that they say that they have. And finally, I ask students to reflect on the unit as a whole and think about what was challenging about it, what was easy about it, and what they did to overcome the challenging portion.